Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP and a ton of other things as well. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to hit that like button. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. So obviously, I am going to address real quick Bitcoin's price action. Yes, I know that a lot of you don't like me talking about Bitcoin, but essentially we are in a Bitcoin-driven market right now, so it does matter and it is important right now. So as we are looking at the historical data, I know that usually Tuesdays are pretty good, so I am expecting a little bit of a nice reversal today. Nothing too crazy, because I do believe that Wednesday we will follow through with some sweeps of the lows. And as you guys do see, here is Monday last week. We closed at about like 29.8K. Here's Tuesday, 30.4K, and then here's Wednesday, 28.7K. And we kind of built back a little bit, but honestly, I'm not dead set on Bitcoin being in a bullish standard right now. I will say this though, there has been a lot of buy signals, coming out. For an example, this article from CNBC today, Bitcoin could fall to $8,000 or more than 70% plunge, which would amount for about roughly like 88% of a drop on Bitcoin. Honestly, I don't believe this is going to happen. A lot of this is just massive fear mongering, and I've always said, listen, do not fear these massive articles by these news outlets. They just want you out. These are fear tweets. Do not pay attention to this noise. Now, of course, on Bitcoin, I am still expecting one last sweep of the lows, and we're going to be addressing that. But first, I want to really quickly talk to you guys about why I don't believe that we're going to break down below 20K. In the history of Bitcoin, and this goes back to the beginning of time, we have never retouched the all-time highs. Here's the all-time high from the 2011 rally. This is the beginning of Bitcoin, by the way. This is going back to when Bitcoin was literally 5 cents. We came back up all the way to roughly, $31. We topped out back here in 2011. Now, of course, we came down to retest some lows. This was the bear market. We came down to roughly, $1.96. This target was never seen before. Now, of course, we went on that nice rally. This is 2013, 2014. We hit roughly, $1,272. Here comes the bear market. We regained some traction, went to the all-time high. Here is the bear market. Never seen this all-time high again. We never came down to test it. And again, here is where we currently are. 2017, 2018's all-time high is $20,095 exact. And here we are right now in this, bearish point in this market. I don't believe that we break down below 20K. This does not make sense to do this. We've never broken down before, an all-time high in history on Bitcoin. So it doesn't make sense for 20K, to break or even go below 20K, which is why I either foresee, and this is where I'm talking about the sweeping of the lows, 27.7K will most likely be, well, this is actually like 28K. So let me actually go back down to this point. So there you have it, 27.7K. It's exact on the bottom of the weekly candle from January 4th, 2021. We could either see that or we could see the 200 EMA on the weekly. So this would be 27.1K, which is this blue line. So either way, it doesn't matter. Either way, these are the two lines that matter the most to me. And this is similar to, March of 2020. Where I foresee us actually kind of having that nice strong bounce off this point. We had wicks below it. For example, we've seen this wick below the 200 EMA, roughly 34%. Again, this is why I don't believe that this wick is actually going to happen. So here is 34%. So 34% would break down below the previous all-time high and bring us down to like 17K. I don't believe that that is going to happen. In fact, I think that the lowest point that we could actually go to is testing the weekly candles going back to like December of 2020, which would be roughly 21, almost 22K. So again, I'm not, too bearish at all on Bitcoin. I'm just saying, like, on the short term, we could see some price volatility. Do not expect it to be something bearish though, because when we go over here, here are some targets to look at. Shout out to Plan C on Twitter, but here is the risk indicator. So there is pretty much a zero risk on a Bitcoin at 23.2K. That's because that would essentially be the lowest point that we actually can go to before we do break the structure going all the way back to the beginning of time on Bitcoin, and that is breaking down below the all-time highs. Now, when we look at this, I would say expect, roughly 23K to 26K because these could be quick wicks. Remember, how fast this wick was. I mean, think about it like this. On the 2-hour span, and as I zoom out, right? So when we look at this wick on the 2-hour span, as fast as we wick down is as fast as we recovered. And you can even look at this on like the 15-minute chart too, and really kind of address it. So here you guys have it. So on the 15-minute chart, you could see how quick we actually regained momentum after coming down and testing that wick. It was pretty much on the same candle where we recovered. So again, even if we do have these slight wicks down to like 23K, I do foresee it recovering pretty quick. So again, just pay attention and please be aware of these levels, 23.2K, 26.4K. I honestly think that this is probably our bottoming point. 26.4K is most likely our bottom. I know that that is a little bit higher than the wick that we just recently seen, which again plays into the idea that we probably don't go much lower from here. Now, we also do see from the Digital Pound Foundation, as you guys do know, I've been talking about the Digital Pound Foundation with Ripple and Swift for a while. Different systems and different CBDCs will need to be able to efficiently work together, or it will hamper the ability of businesses and consumers to make frictionless cross-border payments using CBDCs. This is essentially telling me that we will need to have that interconnectivity between all of these systems, and they are basically preparing us for a DLT future. DLTs will essentially connect all of the money, and I've always said this. Pay attention to things happening around these massive systems. And Swift is essentially saying this. So you got to pay attention to things that are happening within the DLT sector, specifically around interoperability as well. And do not try to say that Ripple and Quant are competitors. They are not. They are actually complementing each other greatly, because Quant is essentially the interconnectivity bridge between all of these DLT systems that will allow for these money flows to actually happen and allow for the efficiencies of these payment networks to actually be achieved. Now, we also do see here, improve it with more scalable blockchain technologies like Brad's company provides and make it extremely low cost to move. Listen closely to this.
We have to preserve digital cash. That has to work on the open internet. It has to work interoperably with anyone, anywhere. That's how we're going to solve this problem. And I think we're really close. I mean, USDC itself we've seen over $3.5 trillion of transactions directly on the internet between counterparties. And so if we can, improve it with more scalable blockchain technologies like, Brad's company provides, and we can make this extremely low cost to move, and then enable individuals with digital wallets that can interact, and you can scale into the risk, right? Is the way.
And yeah, I mean, it's 100% correct. And we actually do see down here my reaction to this clip, and of course this Brad Garlinghouse. But yeah, honestly, this World Economic Forum was a huge meeting, and a lot has come from this. In fact, Ripple also did say this. It was an honor to meet with Prime Minister of Georgia to discuss blockchain and crypto at the WEF 2022. This is huge. Understand things that are being talked about. Understand that, these things are morphing into real-life use cases. Things are absolutely being built behind the scenes. People need to understand the vision behind things like this. And we actually do hear great talks with Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse shared, their vision, Georgia's vision of the future of blockchain and regulation with business-centric environment and innovation innovative approach. We aim to evolve as a tech and innovations hub. Shared Georgia's story as the first country to bring a blockchain in public services. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is great. I think that when we look at the things happening around the scenes within Ripple, you could clearly see where they are positioned at. And I think that this WEF 2022 overall meeting was a huge stepping stone for us, and really kind of showed us who the chosen ones are. A few people have mentioned, a few things. Like, for example, Kevin Cage said, name a crypto project below that is being discussed at Davos, the 1% of the 1% in Switzerland. Here's a few. Remember that Ripple, Stellar, Visa, and others are on the WEF Crypto Council, Davos, XRP, XLM, Algo, HBAR, Casper. I know I'm forgetting a bunch. Let me know. And we even see, a few other ones being mentioned here as well. Honestly, you can clearly see the chosen ones here. The chosen ones are the utility tokens of the future. Understand that, when we look at XRP, here we have, the CEO of Ripple, sitting at the tables with them, discussing things. I mean, honestly, it's crazy. Like, here you have Brad Garlinghouse sitting next to, massive individuals within this area. I mean, when you look at, Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple, and Jeremy Allaire, Circle Pay at WF 2022 at Davos, talking remittances and a new era of digital money. A new era of digital money. Understand exactly what this means, okay? You got to understand that things are happening rapidly around this space. It's insane to me that people are not paying attention to this more. And of course, we just hear, boom, Brad Garlinghouse is a board member at the World Economic Forum. Brad is sitting with them, and you are saying to me that they won't use XRP. Which other crypto CEO is a board member at the WF? No one. It's only Brad. You guys got to understand that the WF, it plays a pivotal role in this massive new system. I'm not saying I'm not supporting things like the, Great Reset and stuff like that. Trust me, a lot of this stuff, has some deep things behind it and some dark things behind it. But I'm telling you right now, you got to understand that, these are the chosen ones. These utility tokens are the chosen, pieces of the future financial system. And it all starts with interoperability as well. So Q&T could definitely be labeled here. But we also do see, AOBT and things like that. Alliance Block definitely is something to really kind of pay attention to right now, especially at 9 cents. Understand where AOBT also is positioned. I can't even believe that Alliance Block, it's actually sitting at around like 9 to 10 cents. I mean, this has a $22.5 million market cap. It's ridiculously undervalued. I mean, you look at the all-time chart. Look at where we currently are. And look at where we recently went. We went to $1.23. Insanity to me. But yeah, I mean, things are happening rapidly around this space. And we actually do see our bankers at the World Economic Forum say yes to CBDCs, but not without reservations. Again, pretty interesting. We do see leading figures in the international bank community talked about progress on central bank digital currencies at the 2022 World Economic Forum. Sorry, guys. But yeah, honestly, things are evolving quickly around this space, and I'm so happy to see it. And honestly, the funny thing is that all of this is really focused on, Ripple-centric, if you will. Like, we know that Brad Garlinghouse is a board member, but when you look at things like here, WEF 2022, bankers at WEF see the need for caution and speed on central bank digital currencies. Experts point out sticking points as well as greatest needs in the creation of central bank digital currencies for domestic and cross-border wholesale and retail uses. Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't support retail CBDCs at all. I think that they are absolutely terrible. I don't want to even talk about why they are bad, but I've expressed to you guys, in terms of transparency, privacy, and things like that. Also control. I mean, it gives them like 100% control of your money. So I don't really like retail CBDCs, but you do welcome in wholesale. But honestly, things like this will happen, no matter if we support it or not. But in general, though, we do see a lot of this around cross-border payments and, retail use cases and stuff like that. I think that a lot of this is great, and I do think that it really kind of points the finger to, one specific company, and I'm not going to name names, as guys, probably already know which name I'm talking about. But we do see, a lot of this is, to have a successful CBDC, there are fewer challenges for a wholesale CBDC introduction than a retail CBDC. So, we probably will see a wholesale CBDC, adopted in before we even have talks about a retail one. But, we do see a few mentioned here. So its mBridge project began as an experiment in establishing a cross-border wholesale payment corridor with the Hong Kong Monetary Authority and has grown to include the Bank of China and the United Arab Emirates and the Bank of International Settlements. Cross-border transactions using traditional banking technology can take days to complete, while CBDC transactions are much faster. And of course, they are going to see, these efficiencies being carried out, and they're going to, put a spotlight on them. And I see most likely adoption of digital assets in terms of CBDCs because we look at DLTs, right? They have these private ledgers that could issue CBDCs on them and unlock the efficiencies of tomorrow. So to me, crypto plays a pivotal role in this. And those cryptos that play a pivotal role in this, you got to pay attention to them, but a lot of them are, for example, XRP, XLM, Algo, HBAR, Casper, AOBT, QNT, EWT as well. EWT is a huge one that I've been mentioning a lot, LCX as well. I mean, a lot of these are massive gems. And what's funny about them is that a lot of them are so undervalued right now. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they're going to go lower. They're going to go lower. Honestly, if you say that, then you think that the entire structure and the integrity of the Bitcoin price chart is going to break multi-year patterns going back as far as, like the beginning of Bitcoin. We're talking about like 2012, 2011. So to me, I don't, and by the way, I don't mean like the beginning of Bitcoin, going back to like 2009, because we only have like 2010 and 2011 on price data. But you guys could see, this data. I mean, honestly, I don't believe that we break that, overall pattern since, the beginning of Bitcoin. I still think that we are going to hold above the 20K zone. I think that we could see a little bit lower price action to test these lows and really kind of get that liquidity to push us back up. But honestly, I foresee our all-time highs being in the 100K plus zone. And I've always said this, and I've talked to you guys about it. But you could see some of these altcoins. Like, here's Energy Web Token sitting at under $3. The all-time price chart, I mean, we hit like roughly $20 on EWT. You look at LCX, right? So I've talked to you guys a little bit about LCX. I was talking to you guys about this at 3 cents. This goes back to like 2021 before it ran up to 60 cents. It did a 20x, opportunity from our, entry points. Sorry, it didn't go to 60 cents. It went to almost 50 cents, but it still was a pretty great opportunity. Look at where we are currently. We're sitting at about 6.5 cents. It's insane that this is that undervalued. $48.7 million market cap. It's crazy to me, the opportunities that we have in this market, yet there's so many individuals that are too fearful to take any of these positions because they think that we're going to go much, much lower. It all matters, if you are in it for the short term or long term. And you got to really position yourself right now in this market, and you got to really understand who you are. Are you the short-term trader that is going to be in this market for a year and say, goodbye? Or are you going to be in this long term and understand the technology and the vision behind a lot of these protocols? Because to me, I look at this market and I'm just like, I don't even want to jump out of this market. I just want to stay in this market for as long as I possibly can, because this to me is generational wealth. Crypto is that point in time where this is that pivotal moment where we will see a massive transfer of wealth. And those individuals that are too fearful to stay in this market, that are shaken out by the volatility, the fear, those individuals are going to miss a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So with that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. So it's up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.